Welcome to Mind Shield. We protect the mind and pursue the truth. Let's get started.
Let's talk about a different kind of prison. It's a prison with no walls, no bars you can see or touch. It's a cage that is felt but not seen. This is what we call the invisible cage thesis. Just picture this for a moment. Imagine a man. We'll call him Marcus. You see him moving freely through a city. He's getting in an elevator, crossing a crowded street, walking the aisles of a grocery store. There are no chains on him, no locked doors in his way. To anyone watching, he looks completely, totally free. But here's the thing, that freedom, it's an illusion. Because everywhere he goes, this unseen pressure follows him. It's this constant fear that he just can't shake. His body doesn't feel like his own anymore. His thoughts don't feel private. And his own home? Well, it stopped feeling like a refuge. He's trapped, even as he walks free. So this brings us to a really fundamental question. How is that even possible? How do you build a prison around someone without using a single wall or a single chain? How can you cage a person while they're walking right in front of you? Okay, so let's break this down. We're going to start by really defining what we mean by the invisible cage. It's a prison you literally can't point to, but one you can absolutely feel every single hour of every day. So this cage isn't made of steel. It's built from something else entirely. It's constructed from these systematic, ongoing attacks on everything that makes you, you. Your privacy, your sleep, your credibility, your relationships. It's this multi-layered assault designed to attack every pillar of your life until your will to fight back is just gone. So if it's not made of steel, what is it made of? How is this cage actually built? Let's take a look at the specific tactics, the tools used to forge these invisible bars. What does an attack like this actually look like? Well, a lot of the time, the attacks start with the physical. We're talking about sensory intrusion, things like hearing unexplained sounds. There's even a documented phenomenon for this called the microwave auditory effect, where microwave pulses can literally create the perception of sound inside a person's head. Add to that constant sleep disruption to make you exhausted, and these weird, unexplained physical sensations, heating, tingling, it's all designed to attack your most basic sense of self. But it doesn't stop at the physical. The bars are also psychological, and they're social. Pervasive surveillance, your devices get hacked, your privacy is just gone. Disinformation campaigns are launched to turn your friends and family against you. Smear campaigns to destroy your reputation and make you look unstable. And then, the final twist of the knife, when you go for help, the very institutions that are supposed to protect you dismiss you, which just makes you feel even more alone. As modern as this sounds, these kinds of tactics, they aren't new. In fact, they have a name, Zersetzung. It's a German word that means decomposition. This was a psychological warfare strategy perfected by the Stasi, the East German secret police. The goal was to secretly dismantle a person's life from the inside out, to make them doubt everything and paralyze them with fear, all without ever leaving a fingerprint. And people who went through this, they didn't just call it harassment. They called it an assault on the human soul. Just think about that for a second. That phrase really captures the profound damage this does, being secretly torn apart piece by piece, while the people doing it remain completely in the shadows. Okay, so we've looked at what the bars are made of, but now we need to ask why. Why are they being forged in the first place? Let's look at the architect's blueprint here. What is the real strategic goal behind all of this? Now, a lot of people might assume the goal is simple, to cause some kind of immediate physical injury, but that's not it at all. The real objective is so much more strategic. It's about psychological exhaustion. It's about humiliation, about isolating someone completely. The end game isn't a broken bone. It's an emotional breakdown, total public discrediting, and ultimately a state of complete and utter coercive control. When you strip it all down, that's what this is. A very modern, technologically advanced form of coercive control. The goal of torture, whether it's physical or psychological, has always been the same: to break a person's spirit, to destroy their will, and to take away their ability to choose their own path. This is just that same old principle, updated for our times. So, let's talk about what might be the most powerful piece of this entire puzzle. It's the wall of disbelief. In many ways, this is the cage's strongest, most effective bar. So why is this cage so unbelievably hard to prove? Well, first off, the methods are designed to be invisible. They don't leave physical evidence. The experiences themselves are subjective, so you can't really verify them. The attackers can always hide behind plausible deniability. And because the target is so distressed, it's all too easy for others to misinterpret that as a symptom of mental illness. All of this creates what we call a concealment feedback loop, where official denials just make the public even more likely to disbelieve victims, which makes the cage even stronger. All right, understanding the cage is the first critical step. But the next and most important step is learning how to build a shield against it. This is about making a fundamental shift in your mindset, from feeling like a victim to becoming an investigator. So the first rule is this. The answer is not panic. Panic is what the cage is designed to create. The real answer is a calm, methodical, strategic response. It's rooted in awareness, in the careful collection of evidence, in lawful investigation, and in the power of community support. And at the absolute heart of this fight is a fundamental human right, one that's becoming more important every single day: cognitive liberty. This is your right to mental self-determination. It's the right to privacy for your own thoughts, and the freedom to protect your own mind, your own sense of self, from any outside control. The cage gets its power from being invisible, from being subjective. So the only way to fight it is to make the invisible visible. And that begins with one single powerful thing: evidence. Meticulous, undeniable evidence. So where on earth do you even start? You can start by creating what we call a cage map. This is a real practical first step. You document every single incident: date, time, what happened. You pinpoint where it happens most often. You record any physical or psychological symptoms. You note what devices were around or any other relevant details. And over time, you start to analyze that data. You're not just lost in the chaos anymore. You're finding the pattern. You are mapping the bars of your own cage. The power of this invisible prison lies in its secrecy. It lies in making you feel totally alone and making you question your own sanity. But that power begins to shatter the moment you drag it into the light. Always remember this: the cage wins when it stays invisible. The shield begins when we name the bars.